Hello, I'm Linda Dalkey. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Australia. Today I'm doing something really simple. It's white gel pen colouring, something that I use quite a bit on my cards, and it's always been one of my favourite little techniques. I'm just going to give you a few tips on how to get the best results, and I hope you enjoy the card that we're making today. If you really like this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks guys. So today's card is just a super simple technique that I love. It's called white gel pen colouring, and it's something that I've been doing for a number of years. I've always really loved the look of the white pen against whatever colour background, and I just want to give you a few tips on how to get the best results. This card was actually on my blog a week or two ago, and it's just on smoky slate. I've stamped Night of Navy ink, and I've used the large stamp from the Hello Colour stamp set from Stampin' Up, and then I've just randomly coloured in parts of the design, which I think it looks a lot better than if you try and colour in too much. It looks nice with a little bit here and there. So that card was really popular on my blog and on a couple of forums where I popped it, and I had a couple of people ask me, how did you do that? Well, it is just literally a white gel pen, but I'm going to show you a couple of tips today. So here's one I've started. The first tip is that you need to find a line drawing stamp. Now we actually have quite a few at the current time. I'm looking at the current 2017 to 2018 annual catalogue from Stampin' Up! And we have a whole bunch of different line drawing stamps that would work really well with this technique, but you will find them scattered throughout the catalogue. I found that this kind of colouring set, which is really designed I think to be coloured in multicolours, I think it works really, really well with just the white gel pen on a neutral kind of a background. Okay, and then you can see I've also used from this same set, this is the feather, this is the flower, and I could cut those out and use them, and they've come up really nice as well. So there's a couple of ideas. These ones of course would work well as well because they're the line drawing sort of stuff, and there was another one as well that I'm going to use today, and that's on 128 in the catalogue, and it's this Paisleys and Posies set, which has got all these lovely little bits to colour in as well. Okay, so the first thing is to get the right kind of stamp set. You need a stamp set that's got line drawings but has little bits that can be coloured. Okay, it doesn't work, I don't think, as well with a big area of colour. You need small areas of colour to attempt to colour with your white gel pen. Okay, so that's just a few ideas about the sort of sets. In the past, I remember I did one that it was almost like a Zentangle look, if you know what I'm talking about there. That's where you've got like all your different designs and patterns inside a shape. This one's certainly lots of different designs and patterns. And I think this works best if you pick a medium coloured cardstock, so a medium tone. Here I've used Sweet Sugar Plum. Please ignore my cockatiel who's decided he can hear my voice and is going off in the laundry. He always likes to do this if he can hear me. It's a bit of a downside to doing videos from home. This is actually a new set. This one's coming out in the 2017 holiday catalogue, and it's a set called Feeling for Christmas, and it's got it's like a little wreath set, and here you can see I've actually coloured in all of the little leaves in my wreath with my white gel pen. Okay, and I actually used for this one early espresso ink, which is a very dark brown, on the crumb cake cardstock because that's a good medium colour as well. And here I've done the same, but I actually stamped from the same set the green wreath underneath first. I stamped it off, and if you look really closely, I don't know if you can see here, it's picked up. When I use the white gel pen, it's picked up some of the green ink when I coloured over it, which is kind of an interesting look as well. So there's a couple of different examples of that. My advice would be medium tone of cardstock, and then try and get your ink colour to be either a darker shade of the same tone, or at least a complementary colour. So in this one, I could have gone with basic grey. Basic grey would have worked really well because that's darker than smoky slate, but I went with Night of Navy because tonally they still work really well together. This one I've actually used Fresh Fig on the Sweet Sugar Plum. This one I used the Early Espresso on the Crumb Cake, and the one that I'm going to be doing today, I'm actually using the Posies and Posies. I I can't even say it. Paisleys and Posies stamp set. Shouldn't stamp what you can't say, you know that? And I've used Night of Navy ink on Marina Mist, which is also a good medium colour, and you're going to love the result that I get with that. Okay, so I'll just show you really quickly on this one how I actually go about colouring. Oh, first of all, your white gel pens. These are Uniball gel pens, and I'm actually from Signo. You can get them at craft stores. Officeworks here in Australia have them. This one actually came from Kikki K. As you can see, it's got Kikki K on it. It is a pigment ink, and so it's slow drying. So that's something when you're doing these, they will be wet for a little while, so be careful not to brush over them. It's not like your classic inks that dry straight away. When you go to use it, I'll just get a little piece of cardstock here. Even if it's a small bit, you need for the ball to be moving in the end of the pen. So I can see I need to get it moving. Sometimes you might need to actually get it moving before the ink starts to flow, and so now you can see it's flowing quite well. But you just always need to feel the ball move when you add a dot or start to colour. Okay, and as long as that, so do it on a scratch piece of paper first so that the ball is actually moving. It needs to be a broad tip gel pen. The fine ones will not give you the same result. It needs to be the broad for there to be enough ink flowing from the pen to look the way we want it to look. Alright, so there's a few little ideas before you even start. Okay, so when I come to a Zentangle kind of random pattern like this one, I'm going to be picking out parts of the pattern and then just deciding which ones I want to do. So say for example I decide I want to do in this circle here, and I hope you can see it in the middle here. So just have to make sure that my ink is rolling. Okay, and sometimes you might need to just wipe over the end of your pen, and then you'll find it will roll much better. Of course it's not going to roll as well. There it goes. Alright, I've also got my glasses on because my eyes are not the best. They're not what they used to be, and you need to make sure that you can see what you're doing with this, because when you colour, I can feel the ball rolling really well right now. You want to make sure that you don't go over the lines of the ink that you've stamped underneath. Okay, so you actually want to, you know, you had how you were always told you had to stay inside the lines. You really have to stay inside the lines because you still need the lines visible. Don't go over the lines because then you start to lose the definition of your picture. Okay, I can see I missed a little bit there. Alright, so so I decided, now I didn't want to do the petals, and it would be a little hard to do the petals because for me to leave those, I would have to either go over the top of those and get rid of those little lines, or I'd have to go around them, and that could be a little tricky. So I'm going to do these edges. Now when I actually come to do my other piece, don't worry, I'm going to speed that up, a little bit of magic from video editing, so you haven't got to sit there and watch me do the whole lot. So just a couple of other little tips while we're here. And you can see I'm carefully going inside the lines so you can still see the lines. Okay, so the other thing to be aware of is for random patterns like this, even though they're random, they still have, like this here is not complete with the other side done. So if I've done this side of the flower, I would want to go and do the other side of the flower. And my suggestion is don't work from left to right across your, or right to left or whatever. Don't work in one direction across your design. I would do all the parts of the same design so you don't forget any. So for example, I've just done this part, so now I'm going to go and do this part because I don't want to miss any of that design. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, comment and tell me below it doesn't make sense, and I'll try and explain it better. But yeah, if there's a part of the design over here, you want to find the rest of the design before you move on to other parts so you don't forget about it later. Alright, so you can kind of see there how that's coming together. I will finish off that little bit. I have to tell you, this is quite addictive and it's very therapeutic. So you will find that you start doing this and you really love it, because it just, if you're someone who likes colouring, you're going to love using your white gel pen because it's really satisfying. When I get to a really thin part of the design like this, even though my pen is broad, if I lift my pen up a little bit off the paper and barely touch it, you just want the ball to roll. You don't actually want to be pressing on your design. So this is the last part of this little flower design here. And I'm staying inside those lines so I can still see the lines of my ink. And I'll go on and I'll finish the rest of that. But in the meantime, what I wanted to do is I want to show you what I've done here with my paisleys and posies. Oh, I think I got that right that time. Alright, so this is where this one is going to go. I've used Night of Navy ink to stamp on my Marina Mist here. And I'm going to be randomly filling this in. Now, I'm actually going to speed up the camera so you haven't got to sit there and watch me colour in the whole lot. And I will be back in just a moment with the finished piece. Okay. Okay, so we have our piece now coloured. One of the nice things about this kind of colouring is you don't need to colour in everything. In fact, it looks better if you don't. So just pick and choose the bits that you want to colour, and I can just see a bit that I missed. I missed that little bit there because I did that on the other ones. Okay, so yeah, very easy, and it's up to you how much colouring you do. Like for this one, I wanted to colour in all the leaves. This one, I've just coloured in part of the feather. Please excuse my voice. I just had a big coughing fit. I don't know what's going on there. Never mind. Okay, so I'm going to put this card together now. It's a very easy card. All right, so I'm just going to, probably should give it a little bit longer to dry, but because we're just doing this on video today, I'm going to just do it as it is. It'll be fine. And I'm just going to position that in the middle here, and then I've got a bit of silver. Every card's got to have bling, right? That's my theory anyway, and nearly all my cards do. I can't help myself. Even this one, see, I had to stick a little bit of bling there. It's just my thing. Alright, so just going to pop that down there, and then I've also stamped a sentiment. Here it is from the same set. It says Thankful, Grateful and Blessed. You can see this set here's got all these other little posies in it, and there's the Thankful, Grateful, Blessed. And I'm going to pop that. So it's a very simple card really, but it's the white gel pen that really is the star of this card. It just brings it to life. So I'm just going to pop a few dimensionals behind there. Shall I pop that just about, oh here. You can pop it wherever you like, but there you go. Oops. It'd be good if you pop it straight though when you do it. Straight is always better. Alright, and I am going to position that on my card base. So you can see how simple that is. I'll pop this card on my blog today along with the video tutorial for you. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down the bottom so you can come back and see more of my bits and pieces again. I've got lots of other videos here if you're after techniques and ideas, but white gel pen colouring is something that's very, very calming to do, and you may find, like me, it becomes a favourite technique for you too. Thanks for staying by today, guys. Bye.